Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here as we are counting down until tomorrow's 900th edition of WWE Smackdown, which is going to be tomorrow on the USA Network. WWE's pulling out all the stops, bringing back Edge, bringing back The Undertaker, having a big Intercontinental Championship match. I thought that honestly, what I would do to put over SmackDown was talk about one of my favorite wrestling DVDs there is out there. And this, of course, is the Smackdown 3-disc set, which came out, I believe, in either 2009 or 2010. This is the Best of SmackDown, the 10-year anniversary, which celebrates 1999 to 2009. It has a very cool holographic case there. You've got Rey Mysterio, The Rock, Batista, Undertaker, Eddie Guerrero, Edge, and Jeff Hardy all there on the cover. This is a 3-disc set, a lot like a lot of the other 3-disc sets that come out now. It actually comes with 3 different boxes. The one thing that I don't like about these sorts of sets is that every once in a while you'll go to put one set in and you'll take out disc 2 and you'll go watch it, so you put it on the DVD thing, and then next thing you know you come to pick up the set next time and one of them's missing. And so it's to me, I like having the boxes where they're all together, plus you get some better artwork to go along with it. When SmackDown first started back in 1999, it was groundbreaking because honestly at this time WCW already had a second show. They were already doing Thunder, but at that time Thunder had really just downhilled. When Thunder first started, it would have a big main event, and it would be a match that you had to watch to keep up with what was going on with WCW. We didn't really know with WWE, but right off the bat, they were giving us, I don't think most people know, but there was a pilot that aired to see if people would care about watching wrestling. So there was like a 2-hour special months before SmackDown launched on the network, where I believe it was I call them the Brothers of Destruction, even though that's not their name, but I guess it's just Big Show and The Undertaker going up against the Rock and Sock Connection in a Buried Alive match. I know there was a grave. I haven't seen the match in a long time. A lot of people always celebrate The Rock versus Triple H with Shawn Michaels as the special guest referee. A lot of people treat that like it is the first episode, and I guess that is episode number 1, even when you watch it on the network. But I always remember that other episode that did air like a special. It wasn't called Saturday Night's Main Event or anything like that. It was SmackDown. But it was what it was. I think that this honestly should be in everybody's DVD collection, even if you don't have the largest DVD collection of all time. Trying to keep all of them up to date. You can pick this up new on Amazon for $10. Mine's a little bit battered and bruised. I sort of have the SmackDown hardcore edition, I guess you can say. It's kind of beaten up. You can get a used copy for about $3. WWE DVDs aren't in high demand as they once were. But honestly, in my opinion, this is one of the best sets that there is out there. With this, you get a countdown of the top 100 moments of SmackDown history. Not all of the matches are complete, but I will honestly tell you that a lot of the matches that you'll want to go out of your way to watch are full and complete. One that is on here is the Iron Man match of Brock Lesnar versus Kurt Angle. I can't remember which Blu-ray that is, but it was a Blu-ray exclusive on one of the newer ones. I want to say the best wrestlers of the 21st century, but don't hold me to it. But that is one of the matches that will not be complete on here. There's a TLC, which I believe Jericho and Benoit won on an early episode of SmackDown, which I think was to fill in for the fact that the two-man power trip, Stone Cold Steve Austin and Triple H weren't going to be able to continue on with their storyline because Triple H tearing his quad. That match is also in clip form because at the time in 2009, 2010, Chris Benoit was not being featured on DVDs, and they were cutting him out almost completely. You can see Benoit for a brief moment during the entrance, but from there on out, they don't show any highlights of his throughout the match. I can't remember off the top of my head I don't think Benoit is featured at all on here, and he was one of the best wrestlers that SmackDown ever had. I know that some people have a hard time memorializing Chris Benoit as a great wrestler, and I try to talk about him as least as possible, but people always do ask about him. But in this, you get 3 discs, over 100 moments. Most of the moments are fully and complete, like the Billy and Chuck wedding, with the reveal of 3-minute warning and Eric Bischoff being there, leading to their big SmackDown versus Raw match, which was one of the first times during the brand split era that they did the Raw versus SmackDown. Honestly, in my opinion, I think this highlights the best portion of SmackDown. I know that after 2009, it did continue on, but it honestly became a show until, I guess you can say, with the brand split that just happened now, that a lot of people just didn't watch, or maybe they watched on their TiVo or on the DVR, and they just fast forward it through it as fast as they could, just seeing the things that they wanted to. Sometimes that only being a minute or two of wrestling, but I figured we'd go through this real fast. Start with disc 1, Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio, steel cage on the cup. You get the return of Hulk Hogan, Rhino Gore's Chris Jericho through the SmackDown set, which was the reveal of a new set that was coming. You get Undertaker versus Randy Orton, Mysterio versus Eddie in a steel cage, Jericho versus China Intercontinental Championship match, Cena versus Carlito, Triple H versus Taz. That's a damn good match. That's WWE champion versus the ECW champion, because Mike Awesome had left ECW, who was the ECW champion, and left to go back or left to take the money of WCW while he was champion. Didn't even give them the time to strip him of the title. So they set up a whole deal where a WWE wrestler left and went to ECW, and in an ECW ring beat a WCW wrestler that had already debuted. And you sort of had all 3 promotions all tied up into one. To sort of give a rub to ECW, they brought Taz as the ECW champion. They brought Tommy Dreamer and sort of put over the Taz versus Tommy Dreamer title change that would be coming. Of course, Tommy Dreamer would win the championship and then immediately lose the championship to Justin Credible, I believe, moments after, almost like a cash-in, I guess you can say. But because I don't think Dreamer wanted to be the champion, I think is why. Jericho versus Hulk Hogan is on there. We go to keep on skipping around. Disc 2, Rob Van Dam and Stone Cold Steve Austin. You got the Billy and Chuck wedding ceremony. Mr. McMahon announcing that the NWO is coming. Batista and Rey Mysterio tag team championship victory as they salute to Eddie Guerrero. You have Undertaker versus Angle, Eddie Guerrero versus JBL in a steel cage, Randy Orton versus Hardcore Holly. That doesn't sound like it'd be a great match. I wonder why they put that on there. Rey Mysterio versus Matt Hardy, The Rock versus the Dudley Boys. I remember that because The Rock does an impression of Bubba Ray Dudley doing the stuttering gimmick into the mic. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Rob Van Dam. Team Angle versus Eddie Guerrero and Tajiri, a really good tag team that nobody really remembers. Then from there we go to the SmackDown after 9/11, which was the first live show that WWE ran. It was also one of the first times in the United States that after 9/11 people came together. There was no sports, baseball at that time had sort of taken a hiatus. There was no football. There was no nothing. Wrestling was the first thing that packed an arena full of people, and it was sort of like an escape from everything that was happening in the United States at the time. We have Mr. McMahon's controversial victory over Triple H, where Vince won the WWE Championship. I don't think they really quote him as being a one-time WWE champion, but it happened. I remember it. The Rock versus Triple H, Cena versus Angle, Billy and Chuck versus Billy and Chuck versus Edge and Hulk Hogan, where they won the tag team championships. I believe that show was on the 4th of July for some reason. The Rock and Sock going up against the New Age Outlaws, Triple H versus Jeff Hardy, Edge versus Eddie Guerrero, and Zach Gowen and Stephanie McMahon versus The Big Show. That's one of my favorite DVDs in my whole collection. I watched this at least once a year. I don't watch the whole thing, but I'll pop it in and remember the good old times from back in the day. So if you are a DVD collector or you're just a fringe DVD collector, this honestly is one. 900th edition of SmackDown. You get the return of Undertaker. You got Miz versus Dolph Ziggler. And you've got Edge returning for the cutting edge. So we'll see what goes down with this. Make sure you check this out. Peace out, everybody.